Welcome, So-La-Rah here. I hope you guys are doing well. I want to take a moment to apologize for the tracking of not last night's video, but the video I did before that. Last night's video was a video that I had recorded like a month ago, and I was joking on the community board that my Virgo was Virgoing, and so I was very, very critical of it, and I didn't want to post it at the time, and my guides were just like, just post it, because I never got around to delving into the fullness of those energies. So I hope that for those of you who watched it and are here tonight, that video was helpful, and my apologies for the video that I filmed the day before, where the tracking fell off like near the beginning, but I was just done. I was like, I'm not redoing this video. I'm just going to post it. And that's how I feel about these energies when they try to come and bring confusion into my fields. I'm not going to let them derail me or stop me from doing what I came here to do. So welcome. Welcome if this is your very first time here. I invite you to stick around and see if you vibe with my energy and with the messages I've been sent by Spirit to bring to the collective. Welcome if you are returning, if you've been here from the beginning, if you joined somewhere in between. I'm grateful for all of you being here. Thank you for all the ways that you support me with the growth of this channel. Thank you for your likes, your comments, your shares, your subscriptions. Thank you for your donations and booking me for services. I really do appreciate all the ways that you guys are helping me to continue to appreciate in my values, so I am able to give more of myself to what it is I do, which is ultimately I'm here to help heal the collective of the narcissistic templates that the Matrix was rooted upon, which were ultimately designed to abuse us out of our power. And also to begin the process of seeding new earth relational dynamics by way first of the healing of those abuse programs, and then by way of assisting you in connecting with your divine truth, so that you can begin to connect with who you truly are and the fullness of the expression of that in beauty. So it's an honor to be here at this time. It's a very exciting time to be alive. In spite of all of the shit, it's a very exciting time. I am wearing my pink sports bra tonight, especially for the troll who tried to tell me that I was on demon time because I wear all black sometimes. I don't know what to say to low-level wannabe intuitives that don't have real discernment of energy other than get well soon. Okay, so I'm going to get into what it is I came here to do tonight, and that is to share. I don't really have downloads. This is more information. It's based upon some things that people have been asking me in general. I want to bring some clarity to. But before I get into that, I do want to speak a little bit about the energies I've been picking up collectively, just in general. Okay, so on the one hand, you know how they like to put these frequencies out into the atmosphere in order to align us with whatever magic they're trying to enforce upon the collective, and especially upon those of us they don't want connecting with our higher frequencies and realities. I've been sensing a lot of energy that has been put out there to try to make people feel tired and discouraged. You know that energy when you just feel so fatigued, and it's more than just physical fatigue, you want to give up. Now, I know, and this is where it gets really tricky, right? I know that this time of the year is when that energy starts to kind of set in like normally. But the more I've been tuning into it, the more it feels like a spell, okay? Because the reason why that energy would be setting in now is because, oh, we've been a few more weeks out of summer vacation for most people, back in the school grind, back in new like work schedules, all of that shit. And so the excitement of the newness has worn off, and now life is getting real. The routines are getting more structured, and the stress of things picking up are beginning, especially if you have children and you're doing, you know, school and school runs with them and homework and all that other stuff, or you've returned to work and you have to, you know, oftentimes in September is when, you know, new ways of doing things are introduced. And, you know, after a week or 2 or 3 of doing that, or even a month, then you begin to feel, you know, the energy leave of the, you know, the adrenaline, the original adrenaline rush of starting something new begins to wear off. Right? So, you know, on that level, you could kind of say, oh, I'm feeling tired because, you know, I've been a few weeks back into the grind of things. You know, summer, everything slows down. Even when you're working, things tend to slow down in just the way you experience the energy. Okay? But once September rolls around, it's work, 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 schedule, schedule, schedule. You get what I'm saying? It's like, get back into the grind. Now, once upon a time, I would have said, oh, yeah, that makes sense, right? But here's the thing. I am a homeschooling mama, and I work in accordance with that schedule. Rest is an important part of my reality because of the things, because I work with energy, and because I'm teaching my children to look after themselves on all planes. And you know, I'm going to divert slightly for a moment here, and I'm going to come back to what it is I've been picking up, because one thing that is really important to know when you're dealing with preteens and teenagers is because their bodies are going through such rapid changes, hormonally, but also cellularly, they actually need a lot more sleep. It's kind of like, you know, newborns, how they sleep all the time, because they're going through that rapid growth phase. When children go into that preteen, adolescent, like, you know, that transitional phase, they actually need more sleep to accommodate the changes that they're going through. And it's just around that time that the Matrix then begins to introduce to them things like drinking coffee and staying up late to get homework done and all that other stuff. All of these adult things that are so unhealthy that we continue to do as adults in order to maintain some false level of productivity, they begin to introduce it at the time when our children should actually be listening to their bodies and resting more, which is why so often teenagers seem to be so fucking tired. Okay, I don't know who needed that affirmation or needed that message, because we are taught to shame our children for wanting more sleep, and we are taught to like almost be ashamed as parents. And I want to break that spell tonight too. So for those of you who may be dealing with teenagers who need more sleep, that is why. Okay. But back to what I was saying about this weird fatigue and like discouraging energy, right? So, like I said, I am a homeschooling mama. I try my best to honor what it is my body's saying, and I try to teach my children to do the same. So therefore, we are pretty well rested. We have no reason, really, on a biological level to feel that way. So it doesn't make sense. And so I heard this voice earlier on. I was training, and I heard this voice that was just like, just give up, just stop. And I knew, like, I know that this energy, you know, like I know my own energy now. I know these voices that try to intrude upon my energy that once upon a time I mistook as being my own. So I was just like, that's really weird. You know, fuck off first and foremost, but that's just really weird. Like, what is that energy about? That is so not me. And so I was sitting there and I was thinking, wow, if I'm picking up on this energy and it was trying to get me to slow down and to stop and to not meet the goal I was going after in my workout, in a class setting, by the way, not even just, you know, like a personal, you know, like a private workout, then this is the energy that's circulating through the collective right now. So be aware that We are moving into the equinox energies on Thursday, I believe, the 21st. Is the autumn equinox if you are in the northern hemisphere, and the spring equinox if you are in the southern hemisphere. And they like to use that energy, which is here to ultimately on what is occurring on that day is it is the day where the light and the dark is experienced as being pretty equal. And then we begin to move even farther into, if you're in the northern hemisphere, into the shorter, less hours of light. And in the southern hemisphere, the hours of light begin to increase as they move into summer. Okay, so be very aware when we come around the solstice and the equinox. There is a lot of energy they do to reset the planet and to also get you ready to be reset into lower timelines. So to that extent, let's think about 0044 on my clock as I say that. To that extent, let's think about what needs to be accomplished in order for them to reset you. That is that they need to lower your vibration. They need you in lower energies. They need you in shame, in fear, in guilt. They need you, in despondency, in apathy. Those are the energies that are on. Let me see if I haven't taken this out for a minute. So they need you always right around desire and below. So shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, and desire. They need you all. That's the sweet spot for them. Desire and below, right? So they can bring you all the way up to desire where you want something and you don't get it, and they can bring you down and you keep on pursuing and you never break past that ceiling. That's kind of what it is. But this is what I feel like this energy is here to tune people into, is the discouragement, is the feeling tired and apathetic is really what I'm getting right now. Like a lot of energy designed to make us apathetic towards whatever it is you're wanting to accomplish in order to breed guilt or to breed any of the lower energies. But that's the collective spell I feel circulating right now. The moon is in Scorpio. It's getting ready to leave. I'm filming. It's 12:46 right now. On Wednesday the 20th, right? So it's getting ready to leave in about, I want to say like 14 hours. It will be moving into Sagittarius. And so while the moon is in Scorpio, we are dealing with a lot of shadow energies that are ultimately here for us to connect with in order to be reborn. Especially when we're dealing with moon energies. These are the things that we hide from within ourselves and that we try to hide from other people. But, they have their expression either way, like the troll who thought that they could say that because I wear all black, I'm operating on demon time. They thought that they could hide and mask their true energy, which is really envy, as well as other things towards not only me, but if they had a problem with me, they have it with other beings too. So that's a being who is not dealing with their shadow energy and trying to deflect. Instead of going within and finding out, why am I triggered by this person, yada, 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 or why do I feel the need to go on a stranger's comment section and talk shit? They're not doing that work. But my point is, the moon in Scorpio brings that out. And I've been experiencing it on so many levels. I was in my class today, my gym class, and there was this girl that was opposite me. It was a spin class, and she was opposite me on the bike. And I kept seeing her glaring at me. And look, this girl was like probably 20 years younger than me, 15 years younger than me. She looked like she was in her early 20s, okay? And she was beautiful, you know, beautiful aesthetically. And would have been even more beautiful had she not been projecting this energy. But it was like she was in some kind of competition with me. And I was like looking at her and I'm just like, I'm not in competition with you. I'm not trying to be like you. I don't feel insecure enough to engage in this energy with you. And you're beautiful, you know, like, stop kind of thing. Like just stop. And I was, you know, thinking about that as I was writing. I was like, wow, you know, this Scorpio energy right now, it's crunk, huh? It's crunk because also we're in Virgo season, and we're in the final decan of Virgo, and we're going to get a little bit into that with what it is I have to share with you guys tonight. And the final decan of Virgo is all about the Ten of Pentacles energy. It's all about actualizing the fullness of who you are materially. And as such, you know, that Virgo energy in general is birthing the truth of who we are, the fullness of who we are. And so there's already that energy of beings not who you've dealt your whole life probably with people who you didn't like you and you didn't know why. And now as you grow in your power, you're beginning to realize more and more why, and you're beginning to shine brighter, and people are seeing that, and some of them don't even get why they're in this silent competition with you, and it's because of the energy you're carrying. Like I did a post on like yesterday on the community board where I spoke about that. It's like some people, you know, their envy runs so deep that it's not even that they want what it is that you have. They just don't want you to have it. That's like how much they can't stand to see you happy, or they can't stand to see you loved, or they can't stand to see you celebrated or shine, right? So there's a lot of that, especially as many of you move into the caliber of power that the 9-9 portal is opened up for you, and this Virgo energy affords you. As you begin to embody the 10 of Pentacles, you will be experiencing more of that behavior. And if any of you are dealing with that in a very pronounced way right now, in like the past 2 or 3 days, know that that energy is being magnified by the moon in Scorpio, which is bringing out a lot of people's shadows. And instead of dealing with it, instead of doing the deep emotional work and coming out reborn, they are taking it and they are flinging their shadows. And some of them, you know, most of them aren't even doing it consciously. So anyway, those are the energies that I've been picking up collectively, and, you know, some examples of how I've been experiencing them already. But tonight, what I really want to talk to you guys about are the many factors that contribute to karmic justice coming forth in real time. I'm going to say that again. The many factors that contribute to karmic justice coming forth in real time. So, you know, a lot of you, if you're hanging out with me, I'm not the only reader that you listen to, and that's great, right? I think it's wonderful to get different perspectives, even if it's of the same energy. That's what I like to do. Like, I like to listen to other readers who are even talking about the same things I'm talking about, so I can get a fuller picture, because they have some details that I'm not seeing, or they have some details that their guides have made them privy to that my guides haven't shared with me, because that's their lane and this is mine. So it is important to get that kind of that full view, right? But I say that because a lot of the time, readers are talking about, and many readers that you probably listen to if you're vibing with my stuff too, they talk about karmic justice and cycles coming to a close, etc., etc. And so then I get the question, and I'm sure they get the same questions too, is well, when is this all going to end? It just seems to keep on going. It's just, you say it's going to stop and it doesn't. But here's the thing, it has stopped for some people. It may not have stopped for others, but it actually has stopped for some people. But those are probably the people who, you know, are no longer watching these videos because they don't have a need to, unless, you know, for me, because I don't just do readings, I also, my goal is to teach beyond the karmic energy in order to empower you fully to walk in your new earth truth, beyond breaking out of the karmic cycle. But here I want to bring you some very real truths about energy tonight, especially as we close out Virgo season and we move into Libra season, which begins a new quarter on the astrological wheel. So we're moving into the third quarter of the astrological year. So we are beginning with the cardinal energy. Every time we move into a new quarter, it begins with cardinal energy. So the first quarter begins with Aries. Second quarter begins with Cancer. Third quarter begins with Libran energy. So you have those cycles that happen energetically. But then you have the cycles that occur every month with the moons. You know, and then you have individual cycles. There are so many cycles that are going on in our individual realities because energy is cyclical. So even if you break out of a major karmic cycle, it doesn't mean everything is over, because guess what? We're here, we're continually healing and we're continually rising. And that's the point of, you know, us choosing to incarnate here on the earth planes, right? Is to be in a constant state of evolution. So we're going to be constantly going through cycles. But what people are actually really concerned about is, well, when do I break out of this real dense energy? Okay, so I want to give you some tips and information and wisdom about that, so you're not living in any kind of deception. Okay, especially self-deception, because that actually is the deadliest. So for one thing, there are many beings who are watching these readings and they are not doing anything to clear their fields. They're not doing anything other than listening to readings, and they're getting frustrated. And here's the thing. If you don't do the work, you're not going to break out. And here's another thing. Most people are not really aware or ready for the level of commitment and work it takes to truly bust out of these cycles. It takes a lot. And not only does it take a lot, but it's all dependent upon the densities that are occurring in your individual energy field, which is why collective readings are great to tune into, but they cannot give you an exact snapshot of what is going on for you individually. That they're going to sometimes bring confirmation, but that is ultimately up to you to do alone, or to seek out some one-to-one help in order to help you to deal with your own individual blocks. Okay? So, there was another thing I wanted to say before I got into this. You need to be aware that these energies are being cleared out of your fields, but they're being cleared out of the collective fields. So when you are watching a reading, you're being shown what is available for you in terms of the energies that are clearing collectively, but it's up to you to go after it, because the truth is that these cycles are going to be going on at this level of intensity at least until 2025. Okay? Because it took many, many years, decades, centuries, millennia for us to get buried this deep in the deception. And it takes time and going through cycles and being intentional in order to get out again. Okay? But it is possible. Not only is it possible, but I want to remind you that at every turn, you're being divinely supported. The planets themselves are helping you to dig yourself out of the shit that the Matrix tried to bury you in. Okay, so let's get into the many factors that contribute to karmic justice coming forth in real time. Okay, so one of the first things you have to ask yourself is, have you brought justice within your own fields? And when I say justice, you're looking for karmic justice. Karmic justice is a rebalancing of energies. Energy will naturally rebalance itself when a new level, a new energetic level is introduced. Energy will automatically rebalance itself to accommodate a new energy that's been introduced. Okay, so karmic justice is nothing but the rebalancing of fields because something has changed. Okay, that means what is the thing that has changed? What has changed is that you have not only removed external energies out of your fields and sought to try to bring judgment upon them, but you've brought judgment upon those energies that were living in your fields rent-free, that were actually food for the external ones. I hope that makes sense. So I often tell you guys that the spells have to stop when they no longer have a food source within your energy field. Okay, so whatever these beings are sending to attack you can only materialize and become real in your reality if there's an energy that is already existing in your fields for it to attach to. So they like to target your fear. They like to target your guilt. They like to target your shame. They like to target where you're envious. They like to target where you're still holding on to grief. They like to target where you are harboring a lot of self-doubt. And this is why we do shadow work, to eliminate these lies about ourselves that have robbed us from our truth. Because when we're able to do that and we align with our divine truth, then those energies that come and try to attack us and try to lie to us, they have no way into our fields, and their attempts to try to come in become more obvious and more comical. Kind of like today when I was in my class and all of a sudden there was this energy that wanted to tell me to give up and go slower. You're tired, just give up and go slower. I'm like, I ain't that tired and you're not my voice. But once upon a time I might have succumbed to that. And that's just a very, a very surface example, because the truth of the matter is that when these energies come and lie to us, it's not about something as simple as slowing down your RPM. You get what I'm saying on the bike? It's more like you'll never achieve that. Don't even start. Don't even try. You'll fail like you did last time. Or this is why you'll never be with someone, and yada. All of those energies, those voices that we come and we've accepted as our own because they've been sown into us, those are the energies that have created homes within our fields that attach to the spell work and the lies that other beings try to come and cast upon us and project into our fields. So what I mean when I say, have you brought justice within your own fields? Have you taken back your divine truth? Have you waged the war to dispel all of the energies that have tried to disempower you and confuse you and take you into states of self-deception about who you truly are? And you are in self-deception when you accept energies that cause you to doubt yourself. You are in self-deception when you accept energies that cause you to block yourself on your own path. You're in self-deception. And that's not to say that you're a bad person. That just means that you have to recognize and realize that that is a place, that is an area of weakness, quote unquote, where these energies are going to want to target. So that should make you more aware. This is like warfare and strategy. This is why when you know yourself, the wholeness of who you are, warts and all, none of these energies can come in and fuck with you. They can't. They can't. They can't drag you into states of shame. because you're in full truth with yourself about who you are, and you're in full acceptance of who you are, because you recognize and realize that feeling certain ways doesn't make you a bad person. It just makes you a human being going through certain human experiences that come with certain human emotions. And these emotions don't define you and make you a bad or a good person. They're just something you're experiencing. You get what I'm saying? So when you begin to get clarity about who you are, and you align in fullness to your divine truth, and again, aligning in fullness to your divine truth has nothing to do with being perfect, but everything to do with being aware of every aspect of self without trying to repress it, hide it, deny it. That's walking in divine truth, right? Then these energies have nowhere to camp out in your energy field and hide anymore. In other words, you've brought justice, you brought balance. And when you bring balance in that way, then the energies that were living in your fields, that don't belong there, now that they've been expelled by you, and every time they try to come back to bunk again, you say, fuck off, you don't belong here. You overstayed your welcome. I saw you hiding and creeping rent-free in my energy fields. Fuck off. The minute you do that, you reset the energetic scales. And all of those energies, the reasons why they were in your fields in the first place, those scales must be reset too. And this is how karmic justice begins to roll out in real time for those beings who were casting spell work, or those beings who abused you into a lower state. Those energies will be returned to them, returned to originators, returned to creators. And even if they're not fully returned, it will be time for them to begin to deal with the consequences of what it is they've done, because on an energetic level, things are being rebalanced. And this rebalancing is happening all the time, because energy is cyclical, and it's cycles happening within cycles, within cycles, within cycles. Hence the reason why you can have like a whole year, 12 months is one cycle, but within that you can break it down into 4 quarters. That's another cycle. And within that you can break it down to cardinal, fixed, and mutable energies, and that's another 3 cycles within the quarters, and then you can break it down into, every month, the moon cycles. That's an even smaller, unit of time that makes even a smaller cycle. And then you have within a day, you go through cycles. So everything is cyclical. Everything, energetically speaking, is a microcosm within something that's larger, a macrocosm, and then that macrocosm becomes micro in comparison to the next expansion of energy. So energy happens almost like when you drop a pebble into a body of water and you see those ripples going out. Those ripples can be synonymous with individual cycles or individual microcosm representations of energy. And within those microcosms, within those cycles, everything exists that's within the macrocosm and the larger cycle. I hope that makes sense. So for example, in your energy field is the fullness of the universe. Believe it or not. Within one cell is the fullness of the universe. Within one atom, even. Now it's expressed in different ways, but it's still the fullness in the energetic potential of everything else. Okay. So, you cannot shift your own energy and not have an effect on all of those situations and beings that were keeping you in the original state. This is why you must bring justice within your own field. Okay? The next thing my guides wanted me to talk about with this, one of the factors that contribute to karmic justice coming forth in real time, is whether or not you have become the rainbow bridge. Have you become the rainbow bridge? Okay, so I'm going to actually revisit that because I want to stay on the same trajectory of what it was I was talking about with clearing energies, but I will come back because it's very important, the rainbow bridge, but it's one of the final places that we're going to get to. So the next thing we're actually going to talk about is whether you have disconnected from and cleared karmic energies, both from within and without. Have you cleared karmic energies, both from within and without? And this is one of the things that you must do in order to bring justice or balance, order within your own fields. Okay? So, your Aries energy, your I am truth, is what enables you, or your ascendant also, which is the first house, is what allows for you to be Godhead over self. You were designed to be sovereign over your own energy. But through the designs of the matrix, the programs, the systems, families, traditions, at every turn you have, abdicated your throne and thrown away your crown, and you didn't even realize it. So the whole point of the process of what you're going through is to take back authority over your own energy. And you can't take back authority over your own energy if you're still giving away your power, and you give away your power in a variety of ways. Okay, so some people think they're very, very enamored by this whole energy harvesting thing. This person did this to me. And yes, that might be true, right? But when you continue with that narrative of this person did this to me and that's why I can't do this, then you are giving up again and again, 0110 on my clock, 110, then you are time and time again giving back that person sovereignty or Godhead over your energy field. Every time you want to continue to repeat the story that the reason you can't move forward is because of what something else has done or whatever else it is you've experienced, while that may be very valid, and I'm not here to try to victim shame or make anyone's pain seem like it's inconsequential, because fuck, I know that's not the case. But I also know that for as long as we live in the state of not rising above the fact that even if those beings, or even when those beings did that, we have the authority now to take back our power so they never do that again, and they're no longer even a part of our narrative and the reason why we can't do it. We can't, quote unquote, do anything. You see, for as long as we're still saying we can't do something because someone else has done something or someone else is doing something, then we're still buying into this false narrative, this lie about ourselves that we are powerless. When every single block and obstacle that has been placed upon your path, no matter how dire it may seem, you are so powerful that you have a solution. You are so powerful that you have the solution, but you can't access the solution for as long as you're giving your power away to someone else and saying that they've taken away your power to find the solution. They've done so much. No, they're not more powerful than you over your own reality and over your own energy. That's a lie that you've believed to once again disempower you and put them on the throne over your energy, oftentimes even after they're still even around you physically. And this is what this is talking about here. Have you disconnected from and cleared the karmic energies from within and without? Have you cleared out all the stories about yourself that are lies that ultimately you were programmed into by these karmic energies and karmic beings? And you'll know you've done that when you're no longer carrying any narrative around that you can't do something because of someone else or another experience you've been through, or this energy is so much bigger than you that you can't get out of it. That's a lie. Now, if you want to continue living in that lie, that's fine. But if that's your choice to continue living in that lie, then you can't be upset that you're not breaking out of the karmic cycle, because you of your own free volition have chosen to believe that something outside of you is more powerful than you, instead of fighting for your place as Godhead over self because it's your birthright. Do you know what that means when I say that it's your birthright to be Godhead over self? That means that nothing can stop that from happening when you commit to that truth. Nothing. 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 Now, the reason most people don't commit to that and fall into that energy of believing that there's something bigger is, again, through programming. We all were programmed into that, just to varying degrees. But we all have to break out of it, right? So a lot of the time, people think that karmic justice is going to come because they've moved away from the karmic. And that can be a very important step. But sometimes your karmic justice will start to come even when you're in the company of the karmic, because it's not about the vicinity so much as it is about the energies within your field that they are still wielding their control over you with. In other words, unless you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually reprogram yourself out of their commands, it doesn't matter how far away you get from them. And it also means, because a lot of the time people feel helpless when they are still in situations where they can't physically move away from the karmic, you can still spiritually, mentally, and emotionally reprogram yourself out of their energetic control. And I can tell you, when you do that, moving away from them is then inevitable. Because when you reprogram the spiritual, mental, and the emotional planes, the physical planes must line up with that, because the physical planes are actually nothing but the culmination of those energies that are occurring on those other planes in any case. It's how you manifest, right? It's how you bring something into physical fruition is by aligning your thoughts with your feelings. That's how it's birthed. So when you had a reality, or you're living in a physical reality where it is the result of you having given your power away to these karmic energies, and your physical circumstances reflect that, and you have no way out because you have been bound physically, materially, financially because of those circumstances, then the only option you have is to reprogram all those other planes where those karmic energies are still in control of your energy, which is why we do the spiritual warfare, to reprogram in the spirit. But then you must also reprogram completely your mental energy. You must clear out all of their mental commands and control over you, which is a bigger job than most people are aware of. And then you must reprogram your emotional waters so you're not so easily moved by them. Okay? And not easily moved by them on the surface, but deep within your energy field. Because energy don't lie, right? So when you do that, when you reprogram your spiritual reality by clearing them the fuck out of your your akashics, every way they try to spiritually influence your reality here on earth. When you tackle that, then the next thing must be all the ways they brainwashed you out of power, and all of the ways that your emotions lined up with those lies in order to create the trap that you ultimately are in. And when you do that, the doors of the traps in the physical must begin to open up to help you move out. And then when you finally are able to get away physically, then even more karmic justice can come forth, because now you are out of the way. But many people think because they are in a karmic situation physically that they're stuck. There's nothing they can do. But you can, because here is the truth. You've always been creating your reality from the inside out. It's never been the other way around. You were just programmed to think it was. So when you are clearing out the energies from the inside out, your outside reality must change. This is how powerful you are. This is why none of their crap that they tell you in the Matrix should you buy in terms of your powerlessness because of your physical circumstances. It's not true. Okay? So the most important thing to clear in order for karmic justice to come are the energies within. It's not your external reality. It's not these other beings. It's always going to be you, which is what makes it powerful, is that you can always adjust yourself and your own energy. You can't control or change other people. It's not your job to do it, but you can change, clear, and regulate your own energy and take back your crown and sit on your fucking throne over self. And when you do that, you throw all of the other flunkies out. Now, another factor that contributes to karmic justice coming forth in real time is a larger, more collective truth. And that is that the true judges and arbiters of karmic justice on the earth planes must have done all of this too. So the true judges and arbiters of karmic justice on the earth plane must have risen into their truth too. So there are certain beings, all of us have different energetic signatures. We're all here with different things to do. This is why we're all significant, right? We all have different gifts, talents, and different reasons why divinely we have either chosen to incarnate at this time or we were sent here at this time to help with this turn of ages. Now, there are certain beings who are literally, they walk around and they embody divine judgment. They are judges. They are cosmological keepers of justice and balance, not only on the earth planes, but cosmologically. Okay? Now, until they connect with that truth through clearing their own fields and activating their own rainbow bridge to bring forth that divine truth onto the earth planes, it's not that karmic justice can't come for all of us, but it does mean that it can't happen as effectively. And this is why there's no competition, because we all need one another in order to be liberated. We all need one another, because those karmic judges are the ones that help to make the process of karmic justice coming in more expedient. I hope that makes sense. Not every divine being is a karmic judge. We all have, to some extent, the ability to bring divine judgment, but we have that ability really in order to bring it first for self. But then there are beings who, in their interdimensional reality, they operate on other planes as the bringers, and not only the bringers, but the arbiters of karmic justice. And they were sent here in order to awaken and activate their rainbow bridge so that they can bring the justice forth onto the earth as they already are existing in the heavens. You see, the reason why in the Matrix they wanted to cut us off from our power and our truth is because they didn't want us to activate our rainbow bridge and bring order back onto the planet as divine beings. I hope that makes sense. So, in other words, for as long as we were 123, as long as we were running around here thinking we were powerless and not connecting to the truth of who we are divinely, they were having a field day. They were having a fucking field day, creating illusions and manipulating energy, your energy as a divine being, manipulating it in order to cast their illusions and to cloak other beings and to do all of this other shit that is in violation of cosmological order. And for as long as we were not connected to the rainbow, we were not connected to the heavens by way of the rainbow bridge, or we were not connected to the higher dimensions by way of the rainbow bridge, we could not bring forth this justice into this lower dimension. We had to wake up and we had to heal, and then we had to activate the rainbow bridge so we become the conduits that are able to channel these energies back onto the earth and bring justice. So the whole point of what's happening right now is in Ascension is that these judges and arbiters of karmic justice are waking up with us now too. And they're waking up into their power. And the more that they do that, the faster the process of karmic justice on the earth plane in general is going to move forward. And this is why at every turn, we are helping one another to wake up and to rise. And this is why competition, especially among divine beings, is such a fruitless and stupid activity. It actually is the same energy of unaliving oneself. Because why would you want to put down another being that on an energetic level is bringing through the energies that you need to get free? That doesn't make sense. So as we do these things for ourselves, as we free ourselves, we open dimensional doorways for other divine beings to access their truth too, because we all need one another in order to bring the fullness of this ascension into play. We need one another. So that's another thing. So there are 3 things so far. I'm going to recall them, okay? So it's, have you brought justice within your own fields? Have you done that by disconnecting from and clearing karmic energies, both from within and without, mainly within? Are you aware that there are judges and arbiters of karmic justice that are waking up too, and they are responsible for holding the collective energy of karmic justice coming through? So piggybacking off of this energy of have you disconnected, have you cleared your fields of the karmic commands that kept you stuck? Have you cleared your fields? So this is kind of an extension of what was already spoken about. Have you cleared your fields of the karmic commands that kept you stuck? You know, all of those naysaying energies that tried to talk you out of your greatness and your power and your multidimensional infinite beauty? Have you cleared and deactivated those karmic commands on your energy field? And if you have done that, how far are you in reprogramming yourself back into your truth and into your divine settings? How far are you into reprogramming yourself back into your divine truth and settings? Almost like, have you returned to your divine factory settings? And this is all, what inner child healing and reclaiming your power, reclaiming your truth, walking in it. This is where affirmations actually become useful. Because so many people are walking around trying to do affirmations and they haven't cleared their fields of the karmic commands. So the affirmations aren't really, rooting the way they should, because the fields haven't been cleared. Right? It's like going to a rubbish heap and instead of clearing the rubbish heap, trying to plant some seeds. Yes, some of those seeds might grow up, but ultimately that harvest is going to choke. You're not going to have much of a harvest. You need to clear the fields of the trash. You need to till the soil and then plant the seeds, right? And most importantly, and why I'm talking about this tonight, have you reached the 10 of Pentacles within? Have you reached the 10 of Pentacles within? One more time. Have you reached the 10 of Pentacles within? The 10 of Pentacles is the final energy in the minor arcana. When you're working through the minor arcana tarot as energy comes forth. The 10 of Pentacles is the energy that everyone aspires to. It's why people take the Fool's journey. Everyone wants to get to the 10 of Pentacles. And what is the 10 of Pentacles truly? The 10 of Pentacles is when you're back so much in your own wholeness that you are able to materialize it on the earth planes. You go from the Ace of Wands to the 10 of Pentacles. That's how the energy is actualized. And it works as a cross. So it works as a cross in that you can go from the Ace of Wands to the Ace of Swords to the Ace of Cups to the Ace of Pentacles. Then you can move from the 2 of Wands to the 2 of Swords to the 2 of Cups. That's energy moving horizontally. But it also works like you can go from so vertically it would work, what am I thinking here? Oh, vertically it would work going through the suit. So you could go from the Ace of Wands to the 2 of Wands to the 3 of Wands to the 4 of Wands to the 5 of Wands to the 6 of Wands to the 7 of Wands to the 8 of Wands to the 9 of Wands to the 10 of Wands. Energy can move that way, or it can move through each individual number. I hope that makes sense. And this is why there's so much obsession with energy, with crosses. In astrology, I just got rid of my video, 1 second. In astrology, you have the fixed cross, the cardinal cross, the mutable cross. You have Jesus going to the cross, which they completely bastardized and made us think it was something it's not. It really is an astrological referral, right? Because that's how energy moves, okay? And that's how you work as an energetic being too. You call energies. The rainbow bridge is your chakra system, and the chakras above and below that connect you to the heavens and the earth, and how you bring those energies through your main column and root them into the earth, or you call those energies out of the earth and you send them back up, or you call the energies from the heavens and from the earth and they meet in your stargate, your heart, and they project your reality. They project your reality. And that ultimately is how energy works on a horizontal. When the energy comes through your heart, it's what gives out the truth of what is in your energy field, and therefore what you are able to call back to you. I hope that makes sense. You're an electromagnetic being. You are calling in energy and you're giving it out. Calling in feminine energy, masculine giving out. So, in order to reach the 10 of Pentacles without, because like I said to you before, you have always been creating your reality from the inside out, even though you were programmed to think that you weren't. You were programmed to believe that when you work harder, that's how you get the 10 of Pentacles. That's a lie. Okay, if that were the truth, then the rice farmer in Sri Lanka who was working 16 hours a day breaking their back would be a billionaire. No? If energetically that made sense, the more we work, the more we get. If that were really true, the more we shift our physical reality through work, the more we get. If that were true, that would be the case. The hardest workers on this planet are the poorest. So that doesn't make any sense, right? So it's not about shifting in the physical. It's about aligning on every other plane in order for your physical reality to change, because what you're doing is you're working from the inside out. And this is why the most important thing that you must accomplish before you move into Libra season, which is all about judgment, and the judgment that comes in Libra season isn't just judgment of your enemies. So not even about that. The judgment that comes through Libra season is when your own heart is weighed against a feather. And the feather represents mental energy. It represents the heavy programming of the matrix that weighs you down and weighs your heart down and causes you to live in densities, 133 on the clock, that then makes you a creator of a shit existence. They used your energy field to program you to create realities that you hate. And Libra energy wants to come and see, have you undone all of that mental fuckery that has kept your heart heavy? Have you reconnected with your joy and your truth and the fact that you have nothing to worry about and there's nothing bigger? There's no energy outside of you that can overcome you. Have you gotten over all of that? Because Libra's coming to test you on different levels. I'm going to get into that in a minute. So you will be judged as to whether you have reached the 10 of Pentacles within during Libra season. And every Virgo season we go through this. And not only every Virgo season every year, every time the moon is in Virgo, we get an opportunity to realign with this 10 of Pentacles energy. Okay, so have you reached the 10 of Pentacles within? Have you reached the internal energies of knowing how valuable you are? Have you connected with your divine value? Have you broken the programs of the matrix and dispelled every lie that wants to tell you that there's something outside of you that is more valuable than you, or more valuable than your fellow living being? Whether that be a human, a plant, a rock, it doesn't matter. The value to be found in the earth is in life. The matrix wants to align you at every turn with untimely death energies and have you believe that by giving to those, you can accrue some kind of value. You can't. It's an illusion. And any value you accrue here, it's not eternal. You can't take it with you. And most of the time, if you die in that state, you're going to be reincarnated. And you may not have as much soul power as you had in a previous lifetime because you squandered it, because that has always been your true value. And they wanted you not knowing that. So the 10 of Pentacles is when you have recovered your light, your solar energy through Leo. The 10 of Pentacles is when you have taken the fullness of the solar codes that were provided to you through the 8-8 portal, and you have what is it like when they trade stocks and stuff, they call something a mature stock, or when a bond reaches maturation. Have you taken those solar codes and allowed them to reach a level of maturation? And your solar codes reach maturation as you use the Virgo energy to connect deeper with your truth. Virgo energy wants you to be real with yourself. It is the perfecter of your soul. Virgo energy says enough of the hiding from who you really are on every level. Enough of hiding from your power and your truth, but also enough hiding from those energies that are your blind spots and those energies that want to take you down, that you want to continually deny and repress. Enough. Virgo energy, the reason it's connected to the Hermit and you're walking in the dark with your own solar light, your solar coat, is are you going to align now with who you are truthfully on all levels? Because when you do that, if you are walking in your truth as a divine being, you have accessed the Ten of Pentacles because you have returned to your divine settings. You have reclaimed your I am truth, your Aries energy. You are now Godhead over self. You're crowned. You're sitting on your throne. You got your scepter. You know who the fuck you are, and you don't settle for anything less than what you are divinely and who you are divinely. So you don't settle for energies that come and try to fuck you out of your power. You don't settle for an energy that wants to come and tell you that you can't do something. Who the fuck is you? You get what I'm saying? That's the Ten of Pentacles energy, because the Ten of Pentacles, when you connect with that value and that balance within, then your external, that's the foundation upon which your material wealth must be built upon. That is the foundation upon which you must call in divine contracts, whether in business, in love, in friendships, that therefore reflect that value. And that's how you then begin to actualize the Ten of Pentacles energy on earth. It begins within. It begins within. I hope I'm making sense, okay? So it's the last energy in Virgo before entering Libra season, which brings in the balancing that is required for karmic justice to unfold. So remember I said to you guys before that karmic justice is just a rebalancing of the scales, and scales rebalance naturally when energies shift. They must find a new balance. Well, when you have decided that you are pentacalicious, okay, 10 times over, you're pentacalicious 10 times over. When you make that decision that you are pentacalicious 10 times over, then the energy fields that kept you from living that truth must also recalibrate to reflect that. Okay? That's how karmic justice comes in. Okay? So, the final thing I'm going to talk about, because I have more to go into here, but this is just going to be a long ass reading. And if you don't like it, I don't know what to say to you, then, tune out. Okay, so Libra season, every sign is broken down into decans, right? So 3 decans. First decan or decan, depending on how you want to pronounce it. First one is 0 to 10 degrees or 0 to 9 degrees. Next one is 10 to 19 or 10 to 20, depending on how you read energies. And the final one is 20 to 29 degrees. Okay? So the first decan of Libra is the 2 of Swords. So instantly we're being shown Libra energy, the major arcana energy, what is divinely occurring through the Libra energy is dictated to you through the major arcana. And the major arcana cards of Libra are the Empress and the Justice card. You see, people get very stuck on this Libran energy of justice and balance, but a lot of the time I find people neglect to actually focus on is that the Libran energy, the reason the justice has to come and the Libran energy wants the justice is in order to increase the beauty. Increase the beauty. Life is supposed to be beautiful. Your life is supposed to be beautiful. That was the divine plan. We were fucked out of that through the matrix, but the divine plan is that your experiences here be beautiful. Okay, so Libran energy is actually concerned with bringing the justice into your field so that your life can once again become beautiful. Venus energy, Empress. You can birth beauty in your reality. Okay, so the first decan of Libra energy through the minor arcana is the 2 of Swords. That is the 0 to 10 degree mark of Libran energy. So the question that is going to be coming forth in that time, or the test that will be arising for your own benefit, is going to ask you, are you free of blind spots? Are you free of blind spots? In other words, the Virgo energy, remember, is obsessed with you living in your truth. It's obsessed with you protecting your light, your solar codes, by living in your truth. Living truthfully is what protects your solar energy. When you live a lie and you take on personas and energies that other beings try to place upon you to disempower you, they are doing that in order to steal your light. So the Virgo energy is very committed to you living and knowing who you are. That's why we go through the Hermit, the 9 energy of knowing thyself, in order to protect your lamp, your light, your solar energy, and in order to follow your own lamp faithfully. Stay in your lane, right? Because your lane is what's going to take you all the way through the 10 of Pentacles. It's what's going to actualize it here for you on Earth. So Virgo energy is very concerned with you protecting your codes by knowing thyself and being true to thyself. So now the Libran energy is coming to do some tests, and not test to fuck you out of your 144 on my clock, as I say that. Not test to fuck you out of your ability to rise, but test to help you see at every turn, what do you need to work on still? So the first decan of Libra energy wants to alert you to any blind spots, anything you're missing about things within your energy field that are keeping your heart bound or heavy, or are blocking you in any way in your energy fields, right? So it wants to come and display that to you. The second decan is a 3 of Swords. And that test wants to know, are you free of the toxic attachments in your heart space? In other words, are you done loving energies that hurt you, whether it be in people or in self? Are you done with that? And the final decan of Libra energy is a 4 of Swords. Are you free of the mental battles that take you out of equilibrium and therefore disturb your peace? Are you free of the mental battles that take you out of equilibrium and disturb your peace? Are you done with these energies of returning to things that bring you pain because you can't let go of those energies or beings? Are you done with that through the 3 of Swords? Are you done with it? Are you ready? Are you truly ready for peace, or are you just saying it? Because energy don't lie. It don't lie. Are you, what the ultimate question that the 4 of Swords, the final decan of Libra, wants to know, and indeed it is like the sublimation of all of the test in Libra season, or the energies that want to help you alert yourself to where there still is work. It's, are you still at war with yourself? Because only when we're at war with ourselves do we tolerate energies in our fields that take away our peace, whether they are mindsets, emotions, spiritual realities, other people, it doesn't matter. People who are at war with themselves will tolerate other beings who bring havoc, or other energies that bring havoc into their fields. And then they will complain about those things sometimes too. But like I said in another video, some people like their victimhood. They do. And if that's the case, the best thing they can do for themselves is admit that, because that's how you get free. Because we've all been there at times. And we needed to be there at times. That's part of the healing. You need to tell your story time and time again, and you need to get someone to hear you and to understand and to tell you, to see you, right? But then there are beings who take that energy too far because they like the continual external validation And then when you tell them that, they will accuse you of victim shaming because they're not ready to let go of that narrative. And that's okay. We all have our own time. But one thing that I will always tell people is if that is the case, then be real with yourself and don't live in self-deception, because self-deception is what keeps you bound to the matrix. It's not being a bad person, yada yada, all this other shit they told you to make you feel guilty. It's self-deception, and staying out of your power is what keeps you bound and tied to their false scripts. Okay. So you must pass these tests to actualize and activate the fullness of what your rainbow bridge wants to bring in for you. And before I go any further, I want to be very clear about this. This doesn't mean that if you haven't done all of this, you've missed your opportunity in Libra season. It's none of that. Anytime you feel those energies, that you can rest assured that's not the divine speaking to you. Okay? There is always, so the grand opportunity, like I said, it comes when the sun enters these signs. But every month we get the opportunity to go through these energies in a micro way, right? So I tell you all of this so you can utilize the fuck out of these energies to jump, okay? Not to put you in any kind of fear because you think you're behind or you think that it's too much or anything. It's not too much. That thought in and of itself is not your own. It's not. Because you are divinely equipped for any mess that you got yourself in while you didn't know who you were. There's not a mess too big that you got yourself in when you were asleep that when you awaken, you cannot get out of. I'm going to say that one more time again, like we're in church, okay? There is not one mess that you got yourself in deeply in the time of being asleep that when you wake the fuck up, you cannot get out of. Not a thing. Know this, own it, work it into your fields until you live it, okay? So, the fact of the matter is that you are only able to actualize your cosmological truth. In other words, bring forth who you are in the cosmos onto the earth planes in order to activate that energy to bring divine order not only into your life, but for the collective too, okay? You are only able to activate or actualize your cosmological truth on earth as it is in the heavens once you are not only connected to source, but you're also cleared for takeoff. This is what my guide said. You must clear yourself for takeoff. So one of the first things you do or that occurs is that you reconnect to source. But then through that connection, you begin to receive the wisdom again. You begin to wake up in order to clear the energies, the heaviness, the densities in your field that have kept you from taking off. So your heart is a stargate. It's a filter and it's a scanner of your energetic reality. Your heart is a stargate. It's a filter and it's a scanner of your energetic reality. And it's also what projects the energies into your field. That's the electro part. In order to call in magnetic part, situations and people that match the energy you are embodying. You magnetize people and situations that match the energy you are embodying. It's not about you being a bad person. I try, and this is why I do the work I do, because I got pissed off with this law of attraction bullshit and making and shaming people when they weren't able to manifest their reality. And making them feel like they weren't master manifestors when you are the masters It's just that you've been manifesting shit because your energy field was programmed into that state. It's not who you are. It's the program. But it's the programs that your energy field held that your heart was magnifying, and therefore you were calling in more of that stuff. It's not you. It never was you. And this is the point of healing. And this is how they could energy harvest. For as long as you were not, your rainbow bridge was not connected, as long as your heart, you weren't aware of who you were as an energetic being, they were messing with energies and creating illusions and casting and doppelganging and stealing your energy and cloaking themselves because there was no real divine order that was coming through. Because your energy was out of order and you weren't connected fully and bringing in your truth. But the minute you get connected and you clear your fields, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's over. You get it? It's over. So your heart is a stargate and a filter and scanner of your energetic reality. So here's a small aside as the video gets longer. Here's a small aside. When somebody comes into your energy field, whether you see a picture of that person, you hear their name, or you literally see them and you meet them, and all of a sudden your heart goes, and it's not a good feeling, this might be becoming more pronounced for you. That is your heart scanning the energy and telling you, for the most part, that person is not safe. Especially if you are deep into ascension and clearing your fields. Your heart will automatically respond to energies that aren't fake, that are fake, but that aren't safe for you, and it will automatically give you the feedback. Okay? So, for example, I was looking out my window one day and I saw a person who, they weren't an abuser to me, like actively, but they were one of the flying monkeys, and they're completely unconscious beings. They just, they're not aware, but nonetheless, they were a being that my guides told me cut the ties with a few years ago. And I haven't seen that person in a while. There's no reason for me to fear them. They have no real, and they never really abused me. But the minute I saw them out my window, my first visceral response was fear. Or it was a tightening of energy. And it was showing me that person is not safe. And probably they never were safe, but I had programmed myself mentally out of my heart's truth. But now that I have cleared my fields of karmic commands that tried to shame me out of my power, when energies come at me through people that are not safe for me, my heart will almost instantly react, especially when I'm caught off guard. So that's a gem for somebody, okay? Now, that's not quite the same as being excited or even being triggered by someone who has traumatized you in some way. Okay, so again, you have to be discerning of the messages that your heart is giving you. But pay attention, because it's always scanning the fields and filtering the information and letting you know. This is why your heart must be as light as a feather, so you are cleared for takeoff to your next and higher destination in reality. So note that what my guides were saying is it's for your next and higher destination in reality, meaning that you will forever be climbing. Okay? None of us are going to be here and just arrive. So we will forever be going through this process. It's just that right now, this is probably one of the heaviest times you're going to go through it, because you're waking yourself up literally from being completely in an unconscious state, and you are waking up now into your truth. And as such, this is where the crux of the clearing energy must come. And later on, when you're living in more dharmic states, the lessons that are going to come are going to be more about recalibration. Okay? You are a spaceship. In short, you are a spaceship where other energies have docked to prevent you from flying. Okay, so what you're doing is you're telling those energies to fuck off. Get off my spaceship. Get off. You're not welcome here. You're not taking flight with me. And you're not blocking my Stargate. Okay? And that's another thing that many of these energies right now are trying to do. You know, and the retrograde makes people hella bold. I don't know where the hella bold came in. I've never been to Northern California in my life, you know. Anyway, some of these beings are hella bold, okay? And they become emboldened by the retrograde energies. And they also are bolstered in their energies of regret. Because remember, retrograde energies are here to help you review older timelines, to make better decisions in the creation of newer ones. And so a lot of them right now are using the energy of sentimentality to try to reconnect and block your Stargate, because they know that you're set, you're cleared for takeoff to the next higher energy. And for some of you, remember I said that when you're dealing with these energies and you haven't been able to leave them physically, the final walking away from them physically is what brings down the tower now for good once you're out of the way. A lot of them, even if they're not conscious of it, they sense it. When you walk away, if you still have to leave a situation physically, that justice and that energy is going to have to adjust itself, and it's going to mean towers for everyone, including yourself. But you know, the tower that you're going to experience is not going to be a complete destruction of your reality, because you've already faced your truth. This is why the tower shouldn't be something you're afraid of if you're walking in truth, because it can't come to destroy anything. What's it going to destroy? All of these energies are designed to destroy where it is you're not seeing truth. All of these horrible things that happen to you were all designed so you would see truth and you'd stop living in deception, in states of deception. If you're no longer living in deception, then what is the point of coming in to destroy anything in your fields? There isn't anymore divinely. Now, it doesn't stop these beings from trying, but it means that they at a certain point they can't. Because what it is they're trying to connect to bring the destruction is your own mental energy, and you're not allowing it. So I'm going to wrap this up now. Well, I have like a page left, but I think I can get through this pretty quickly, okay? So when we are disconnected from who we are, in other words, when we are not walking in our I am truth, when we are not walking in alignment with our Aries energy, which is also our crown chakra energy, and it is the last chakra in our own individual energy fields that then begins to align us with chakras that are more to do with, you know, what you could call collective energy, right? Above and below. When we are disconnected from who we are, and not reactivated into our power by way of our Stargate being free, our heart chakra being cleared and healed, and our rainbow bridge being activated, meaning our chakras cleared in order for the rainbow bridge to occur, for those energies to flow. When we are not activated, we cannot channel into the earth what is required to establish, sustain, and maintain divine order and balance. So I've already kind of said that. I'm just reiterating it. When you are out of alignment, you know, and you're not therefore able to connect with source, and not only connect with source, but pull in those energies through a clear channel. When you're not able to do that, then the divine order it's not only that it's not in your fields, but it's also what it is that you're here to establish in the earth through your own energetic signature is not able to be accomplished. Okay, it's why these low-ranking beings, stymied and blinded us and tapped into our energy to fuel their matrix parties. Okay, and their matrix parties were all the energy harvesting shit. So it's over when you say it is. This is the last thing I'm going to get into. It's over when you say it is. It's over when you say it is. But let me get into why that's not as simple as just saying it. Because remember, energy doesn't lie. So your voice is your power and your gateway to truth. It's also your gateway to the fifth dimension. It's your fifth chakra. But your words, what comes out of your mouth, it must line up with the truth of what is going on in your energy field in order to activate the power to truly end things. So in other words, if you say, this is over, but you don't believe it, and you don't, and your energy field is still full of karmic commands and lies about yourself, that you're still entertaining and creating realities from that place because you're not fully cleared and you haven't called back all your power, then your voice it's not going to affect the change that you want. I hope that makes sense, because energy doesn't lie. Our external realities and experiences will always reflect what we are housing in our energy fields. Not necessarily who we are as divine beings, but what we have chosen to house in our energy fields, or what has been placed in our energy fields to be housed by other beings who are trying to sabotage us. You get it? It's about clearing your energy fields of these things that have been squatting. They've been squatting on your property, okay? So don't get mad or discouraged. Get to clearing. Don't get mad. Don't get discouraged. Get to clearing. It just means there's another level of clearing that you must get to. And here's the thing. A lot of people get mad and discouraged, and they end up prolonging the clearing process, because a lot of the time that moment when you're getting mad and discouraged is because the energy is becoming too much for you. And if you persevere in doing the clearing work and aligning with truth, that's actually when you break through some of the densest energies. And many people miss this and get stuck in more density because they walk away. Whether they walk away entirely or energetically, they give up. Like that energy was trying to tell me today, give up. You slow down your RPM, give up. And so they end up having to, a lot of the time, accruing more karmic energies and then having to dig themselves out of more later on. Because remember, the energies will always feel the tightest, and they will always come in to discourage you the most when you are literally on the other side of breaking through a density that's going to take you into a higher truth, a higher experience of living. Okay? So don't stop until your breakthrough comes. Don't stop until your breakthrough comes. Don't give up just before it happens. It's another, strategy, spiritual warfare strategy that they use against us. When things actually start to go crazy is oftentimes when these energies have been engaged and they feel threatened. Don't back down and don't become scared. That's the time you get your pen and your paper out and you start writing decrees and going to the highest, courts that uphold cosmological law, order, justice, and balance. And you begin to tell on these energies, and you begin to tell the courts who you know you are and how you know these energies are out of line. You write decrees and you declare with your voice of power and truth what it is. You go before these courts like you're in a fucking courthouse in real time, and you present your case. And you present your case because you know that in doing so, these energies must shift and bow down to you. You know it. You know it. Even if everything in your life is going to shit, you know it. And you don't budge on that knowing. just because these things want to intimidate you. They're intimidating you because they're intimidated. This is what keeps so many beings stuck. But what you have to know about energy, and Jupiter or Sagittarius, the archer, shows us this so well. What you must know about energy is that sometimes in order to be propelled forward, really to be propelled forward farther than you could have gone, you have to be pulled back a little. Like the bow and the arrow has to be pulled back into the bow to create the tension and the resistance so that when you let go, the arrow goes farther. If you don't apply the pulling back or the resistance, the arrow just falls where it is. You get what I'm saying? Some of you are pulled back in that bow. You're the arrow that wants to shoot forward, and because of the tension of the resistance that is being applied in order to get you forward faster and farther, you give up. But that's not the moment to give up. That's the moment to press in. And I say this not out of judgment. I say this because I had to learn it by doing that many times, and I want to save you the hassle. Okay, so this was a long ass, it wasn't even a reading. I didn't pull any cards. I'm not going to pull any cards because it's enough already. You might want to listen to this in 2 sittings, and it's definitely something that you're going to want to come back to and listen to again, especially as you prepare for Libra season. And I invite you to share this with other beings who you know can benefit from this, because the more we climb and we become aware of all of these strategies and how all of this works, the more we all do this, the faster we all get to where we need to be. Okay? So, that was a lot. I am sending you guys so much. Oh, before I forget, if you would like to work with me one-to-one, you can check out my website, So-La-Rah.info. If you would like to book a session with me or book me for any of my other services, I invite you to go to my website and look at what I offer, because I break it down. But then if you want to book with me, then you need to either go through my contact page on my website or email me directly in order to set up a time, an appointment, etc. Okay, so yes. What else? If you would like to donate to the work that I do or to the channel, I invite you to do so via my PayPal. I thank all of you already who have donated. I thank you for your generosity. It allows for me to have the time to delve into these energies and to, deliver these messages to you and to continue to do the work I've been divinely appointed to do at this time. So I thank you for all the ways that you guys sow into me. Again, I thank you. And so now I'm going to sign off. I am sending you so much love, joy, peace, clarity, focus, stamina. I do know why that's coming through right now. Stamina, 2:11 on my clock as I say that. Focus, joy. I'll always say joy many times. Everything you need to get to your next level that is ultimately divinely yours and you get access to when you come into alignment with how fucking powerful you are. Okay? So, I love you guys. I'll see you again soon. Until next time, be well. Mwah.